Can you hear me now? You can all hear me, yeah? Yeah. Am I freezing or anything? Right then, guys, how are we doing? Let me bin my laptop off because that ain't even working. Right, sorry about that, guys. So, as I predicted, I apologised in the chat, didn't I, in advance, because this is my first one. I knew there'd be some kind of hiccup. Couldn't actually figure out how to make it go live. And we were like, oh, do we just start a new one? But then people were waiting on here. So, anyway, I persisted. I said to Cami just now, she was trying to help me, bless her. Well, she did help me. And I just said to her, look, if we start another one, I don't learn how to do it for next time. And I want to be able to do more. So yeah, let's see. So let's get on with some of these comments, shall we then? Nice, loud and clear. I can't be anything other but loud, can I, mate, really? How you doing, Steve? You all right? What's up, Brownie? Brad? Oh, I figured out from my other live that I can backtrack. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining. Feel free to get in touch with me. Let's have a bit of fun. Been looking forward to this one because I don't usually get to interact with all of you guys. Now, first things first, as promised, I haven't, since I got home from work, I left the shop nice and early today because I gave this a bit of priority. I haven't drunk anything of flavour. I've had no fizzy, I've had no coffee, no alcohol. Been drinking good old-fashioned water because, as I said to you guys, I wanted to give you this virgin palate because I tried a bit of this drink when I first made it. I hadn't given it much of a chance to settle down, and it tasted nice and full of flavour, but maybe stronger than I'd have liked. And I was originally saying to people that I think it's nothing that a bit of ice wouldn't solve, which says a lot because that's not like me. I don't tend to add ice or water to anything. So yeah, I was slightly concerned about that, but then I tried it again since, and that's about 3 weeks afterwards. And it, from what I remember, I'd had a few drinks and I tasted it last time. It tasted a lot better and a lot more settled down. Redneck, how you doing, buddy? I see that you clearly liked that wilderness after all. Thank you for that order as well, buddy. Chris McCormack, how you doing, mate? Haven't heard from you in a while. How's it going, William? My beard struggle. Good, definitely good to see you here, mate. That's how many times I can say the same word in this video. How good is it that I remember things like that? See, I'm attentive. You guys matter. I listen, I pay attention. Yeah, I'm all good. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for asking. With this, guys, again, I'm very new to this. If I do miss comments, I do apologise. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm going to be a mixture of looking at this, drinking the whiskey, concentrating on that. So I'll try and get into it. So before I get going too deep into this, guys, have any of you brought a whiskey along? And if you have, what have you brought? Or a rum or whatever you've brought? Let me know what you've brought along. All that talk of alcohol's making me thirsty. While you guys are having a bit of a chat, I'm going to get to pouring. Here's the beastie here. You can see it's quite dark in colour. I'll go through that throughout the video for you as well. I've brought a Glencairn because you can't really taste drink in anything other than a Glencairn. Well, you can, obviously, but not whiskey. I'm going to give myself a reasonably generous pour on this, with the stuff I don't spill all over the counter. Do you know what, I won't even put that away properly, I'll keep it to one side. So yeah, let's see. How's it going, Paddy? Definitely good to see you on here. Come on, guys. One of you lot must have a drink. It's 7 o'clock on a Friday. Someone somewhere must be drinking something. If you go and get one now, grab a beer, a wine, a whiskey. Grab something. Get involved. It'll be more fun. So while some people are getting into this, more people are joining the chat. I wanted to do this as a live, like I said, for the interaction is the main thing. But to try something else, this is something I want to do going into the new year to get a better way of interacting with you guys. But let's start with, what is an infinity bottle? Now, I would like to think I've got an above average knowledge of whiskey. I'm not a whiskey connoisseur. Paddy knows far more about whiskey than I do. He's far more educated on it than I am and has tried far more stuff. So Paddy's in the chat. He's a good person to have a chat to if you want to learn about whiskey. I'm always happy to help as well. I'm a bit more of a novice at it than he is. But with all that said, I only heard of an infinity bottle, reasonably recently. I didn't have a clue what one was, never heard of one before, and that shocked me because I'm normally quite good at all this stuff. You know, it's not just whiskey. I'm reasonably clued up with my rums and my tequilas, and getting there with wine. So yeah, I'd never heard of it. And it was on a video. I can't actually remember who the video was. I think it was Jeremy Sires, which nearly all of you are going to have heard of him. I'm pretty certain it's him I heard this from, but don't hold me to that. And I certainly couldn't tell you what video. I heard it while I was driving because I like to listen to YouTubes while I'm driving. So you're on Pepsi and water. What's up with you guys? At least someone's on a coffee. Sort it out, boys. Yeah, so he started talking, whoever it was started talking about an infinity bottle. Now, I've looked into this a little bit and you can find different things. It's not exactly a historical monument that's got any set rules to it. From what I can gather and from what I can see, it looks like the origins of the infinity bottle were something you would do when your decanter, because years ago when men would drink from decanters, whiskey would have been batched. It wouldn't have been as heavily processed as it is now. So batches could really vary many years ago. And you know, to top up one whiskey with a new batch, you could be almost creating your own blended if you weren't careful. So what traditionally would happen is that when your decanter got to a level that wasn't quite enough to share or be social or to pour another drink, you would put that decanter into the rest of that decanter into a separate decanter, clean yours out and start from scratch. As that one got towards the bottom of the drink, you'd top it up with the other remnants of the last one, so on and so forth, and you'd build up this whiskey over time. Sometimes it wouldn't be as simple as you drank the same one but different blends. It could be different whiskies. I looked and it looked to me like it was something. I found a lot of evidence of it was guys that do hunts, where, you know, the men would go on the hunt, you'd all go back to the house afterwards, there'd be partners there, you'd have a big sit down, nice meal, then the men would retire to the office or the lounge and would have a nightcap. So traditionally, when there wasn't enough in a decanter to go around, that would get put into the infinity bottle, and then the decanter would be filled up so that it could be drank sociably, and would be prepped that way. So as the infinity bottle would fill up, rather than wasting the whiskey, you've got this whole new whiskey. Again, there'll be different evidence of different things because I found this, but that's the idea that I think I kind of fell more in love with. I liked that idea. It seemed like I'm a bit against hunting. No offence if you hunt, but it's not my cup of tea. But I like the idea of that process. Anyway, so this intrigued me. You all know that I drink to enjoy the whiskey, and you know, so I wasn't realistically going to build a decanter of finished bottles anytime quick. It would have taken me forever. So I set myself a challenge of using the little whiskey knowledge that I have to try and create something. Now, as I've mentioned a few times, we're hosting over Christmas and Boxing Day. We've got various different drinker types coming round. There's whiskey drinkers. There's someone coming who's starting to get into the whiskey journey. So I wanted to make something that wouldn't be too harsh. We didn't want this being like the world's most smoky, peaty. That could be something for another date, but most whiskey drinkers know you don't really start off with that. With it being Christmas, I wanted it to be something Christmassy. So I wanted it to have some spicy notes in there, some sweetness. I wanted it to be a warm drink, And yeah, I just wanted it to be friendly, enjoyable, lots of taste, not too hard to drink. That's what I was going to go for. And my process to this was I started with some basic whiskies that I knew wouldn't be too much of a waste if I got it wrong and needed to start from scratch. And then, like cooking food, I started adding different things to it. I'd have a sip, I'd add a drink, sorry. So by the time I'd added 2 drinks, I'd let it settle for a little while, have a little sip, see what I thought, decide what I wanted to add it, let it settle for a little while, try it. And it went on like this. It was quite a long process. As most of you know, I started this absolutely months ago. The first few times I was giving it sort of 3-4 days between popping up, then I started giving it a couple of weeks because I found it was just settling down a bit more. So before I go too much further into this, just see what's going on because I think I've missed loads. So there's lots of you drinking Pepsi. You'll have to let me know who the fella is that does it on TikTok, mate. I'll have a look. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what your one tastes like, Paddy. I don't know if you're doing... Sorry, guys, I've noticed I've come out the shower, I've already been rushed, my beard's a bit all over the place. Yeah, I don't know, what are you doing, Paddy? Are you just doing yours potluck with the whiskies you finish, or are you going for something like I am with a bit more of a plan? I often see you, you guys, again, if you like whiskey, follow Paddy on Instagram. He always does a nice picture when the bottle's done with the upside down glass over the bottle, I think it is you do, isn't it? But yeah, so coming back to this, so this was what I've done with my infinity bottle. So now what I'm going to do, is I've kept this a secret a long time. You'll have to excuse my scrap bit of paper. I had it in my notes, but I'm using my phone. So we're going to go through what I've done. Now, like I said, I started with whiskies that were a little bit disposable because I thought there's a chance I'd get it wrong. But also stuff that I enjoyed. So the first drink I put in was Jameson's. Got a lot of time for Jameson's. It's one of the best value for money drinks I think you can buy if you're getting new to it. You don't want to be buying 70, 80, 90 plus pounds bottle of whiskies to start. I know Paddy will agree with this. You might not even like the stuff full stop. So start sensibly. Jameson's you can pick up for a fair price. It's a nice drink to drink straight. It's nothing too fancy. It's not too exciting. It's not too harsh, but it's a pleasant drink. And again, it's affordable. It's a good introduction, particularly into Irish whiskies. They're perhaps not as deep a rabbit hole as your Scotches and things like that. You know, there are different Irishes you can try. Redbreast is a very popular one. Waterford's is good. But, you know, Jameson's is a great place to start, and it's a very affordable whiskey. So that was the first one that I added in to my infinity bottle. The next thing I went for was a bit more expensive. Again, something that's not too basic. It is better than it's probably recognised for a lot of the time, mainly because of the brand. You'll be shocked to know this. If you're new to whiskey, you're going to think this is a huge brand. If you're deep in the rabbit hole, it's a brand that you tend not to touch too much. Paddy's probably guessed who it is already. But Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. There's nothing wrong with Jack Daniel's. It's just a very reliable drink. I think the thing that I think what my dislike is that it's a huge brand that's gone a bit over the top now. I think if it just kept with some of its basic brands instead of creating Fireball and cinnamon stuff, and you know they've now just brought out a sour one. You know, it's getting a bit over the top. And I always find that then, in my personal opinion, JD are never the best at what they do. And I also don't think they're the best price. As an example, if you like your bourbons, JD's a fail-safe. But I highly recommend trying Wild Turkey. Wild Turkey, in my opinion, has got the similar taste, not quite as sweet as JD is. And the sweetness is a bit much for me in JD, so Wild Turkey's a good one. They're good mixing drinks as well as the other thing. I do nearly always have a JD, just because it's great for mixing. But what I find is, I always have a bottle of JD, but it's pretty much the bottle of JD that I bought last time for about 8 years ago. I just don't drink it loads. I've got a really big one that Cammy's dad got me, but that was a good touch because that was on at a time when, again, there was a few of us together, lots of family stuff, and it's a good drink to share around. So anyway, so I went for JD Single Barrel. It's a very nice drink. I think it's, again, good value for money. That's one that it's one of few that I tend to top up on when it's gone because I just think it's worth the money. It's almost always on sale as well. You'll find that over a few whiskies is they're advertised for certain prices, but if you look around, you're going to get them for a bit of a discount as well. Sorry guys, I want to keep catching up on this as well because again, I know that I was bad with this on the other one. Yeah, love it, Cammy. Nice to see you. Listen, Cammy, you've been with me long enough. You know that I'm very anal with this sort of shit. I put so much into things with hobbies, interests, with the beard management when I started in the business. Because I overthink things, not in that negative way, but it's almost like I have to know everything inside out. I'm an absolute nightmare with things like this. Whenever I consider doing anything, I really overthink the shit out of it. But yeah, Cammy's been watching me do this, as she knows. Yeah, in all honesty, Paddy, if I had more time, if it wasn't for doing it as a video, I think what I might do going forward is in the new year, start one that's a pure coincidence one. If this works out for me, I might do another one as a challenge just to make sure this isn't so much of a fluke. Because I will be honest, and you'll know this with when you've got knowledge of whiskey, I've actually thoroughly enjoyed mixing things, thinking, yeah, that's worked. Maybe I went a bit too heavy with that. What can I use to dial it back? Because that has happened, you know, where I've thought, okay, I've gone too heavy with that. I need to bring it back a bit. What can I use? But again, we'll hear how that's gone. Yeah, I knew you would appreciate Jameson's Paddy. It's just a solid drink. It's well worth the money. It's not trying to be anything that it's not. It's great value. Nearly everywhere sells it. You can't really go wrong with it. And if you do like a mix, it's a pure alcohol one, but Whiskey Mac, is a brilliant drink. Just pure Jameson's and ginger wine. Nice and easy. Knock your socks off. Very enjoyable. Take it easy, David. Enjoy your trip home for Christmas, mate. You can always catch up with this later on if you want to. Yes, Cammy, some might say obsessive. I think it's because I put pressure on myself to do things right. You know this. And Cammy's being humorous, by the way, guys, but I like to answer things this. We do laugh about how I am. I have got my quirky little ways in life, and I don't take it too personally at all. But yeah, I like to get things right. I like to set challenges. I don't like living in a comfort zone, is the truth with me. I'm at my best when lots of things are going on and things are slightly difficult and there's a little bit of pressure. When everything starts to become too easy, I start to not enjoy it as much. So back to this, we've gone through the first two drinks, Jameson's and Jack Daniel's single barrel. Now, the third drink I've added was where the flavour started to come in. I'll be interested to hear Paddy's one on this because this gets mixed opinions in the whiskey world. But I am what I would call a new age drinker. You'll know through this list. I drink bourbons, I drink malts, I drink Islers, I drink Speyside. I blended. I like all of it. It's whatever I'm in the mood for. I can't stand these guys that are really pushy that, oh, well, if it's not Scotch, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, drink what you want. If you only want to drink Scotch, that's cool. But you don't need to encourage other people to do it. Same as I don't. You do whatever's good for you. I like to drink a mix of different things. Sorry, my throat's going a bit dry. My throat's trying to tell me something. That water doesn't quench first. So, the third drink I added was something that I purchased while we were on holiday at Haven earlier on in the year. We found a nice cigar shop. We went with another couple with their children. It's the first time my wife had seen me in a cigar shop since I've really become into my love of cigars. And for the record, Instagram, YouTube, Christ, now I'll get demonetized for saying Instagram. But for the record, YouTube, I do not promote smoking cigars. Anyway, in the cigar shop, I found a bottle that I've been looking at for a while, and it was substantially lower in price than I'd seen. It was something I hadn't tried before. I've seen it on a few videos. Again, your guy, Jeremy Sires. I'm sure he'll be watching me because I'm massive in the States, and I'm sure Jeremy's my biggest fan. There's no fucking way Jeremy's watching this. Anyway, it's the Mitches. Some people pronounce this differently. It's spelled M-I-C-H-T-E-S. And it's the sour mash. Now, again, I think whiskey reviewers have mixed opinions on these. I didn't buy it because of whiskey reviewers. I bought it because of what I read and I liked. It's a very, very different whiskey. And, you know, I bought it without trying it. But I took it home, or took it back to the caravan, took the lid off, had a smell, and thought, yeah, this smells good. Didn't try it while we were there, but tried it literally the second we got home, because we got home, we had a big barbecue. You know, it's a nice Sunday, had the music up, really enjoyed it. So I had a few of them then. And yeah, I really, really enjoy Mitch's. And that is the Mitch's Sour Mash. It is 100% realistically going to stay in my cupboard. I will definitely be getting more of that. Again, I just really like it. And I'm not going to go through every single whiskey's taste. If this works out, I would like to do more whiskey reviews if people are up for it. It's hard to explain. It's got so much flavour in it. You've got the sweetness. There's lots of caramel in there. It's not too sweet. It's, you know, the sour brings it down a little bit, but the sour is just a tiny hint of it. It doesn't taste sour. It gives it all a bit of tone. Like with the Summer Days scent, there's all honey, lime, lemon, but the black pepper, you can't really smell the black pepper, but it just brings it back to something. So yeah, Mitch's Sour Mash. I've noticed these comments have gone a bit quiet. Are they still working? Can you give me a test? Just put a thumbs up or swear or do something just so I can check these are still working. So I haven't had anything for a while. So yeah, that's the third drink in my mix, is the Mitch's Sour Mash. Yeah, Brownie's there. Thank you, Brownie. So the fourth drink I added is... Yeah, try it, Paddy. Honestly, they do it on Master of Malt for 55 at the moment. It's very different. It's very unique. Give the read up about it. It's not what you're going to expect. I've also just today, funny enough, have bought the Mitch's bourbon. I've got the only bourbon I've got left in my cupboard. Is that, and I've brought that to maybe finish off with, along with a few other things. So because we've got people coming around, that made sense. The only two things I didn't have was anything Japanese, I love Japanese, but in a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, it's unaged. Tastes fantastic, but I can't, there's something doesn't sit right with me paying sort of 60, 70, 80 quid for an unaged whiskey. It could be 4, 5, 6 years old. Yeah, it tastes good, but I could be having my pants pulled down a little bit. So yeah, I went for the bourbon. So the fourth drink is going to be a far more recognised drink. It won't be for everyone because it's the added flavours that some whiskies do. I think this goes very well with cigars. It's a very enjoyable drink. Again, something I'd probably go to a little bit more regularly is the Balvenie Caribbean Cask. So what I got by adding that is when you had the sweet notes and the sour of the Mitch's, and you've got that just consistency, the straightness, the easy drinking of the Jamesons, something a bit more flavoursome with the Jack Daniel's single barrel. The Balvenie Caribbean Cask, it's a 14 year, so it's a nice year. It's a decent drink. The whiskey side of it is nice, but it spends the last period of its batching in a rum cask. So what I've then started to do is carried on down the sweet theme. The Balvenie's Caribbean Cask is nowhere near as sweet as the Mitch's is, but you've started to bring that rum into it. And as I said at the start of this, I wanted to make it warm, Christmassy, a welcoming drink. So that's where that started to come in. Yeah, I agree with that. 46 is the best Makers. I'm not as big a fan of Maker's Mark as I maybe should be. I do really like it, but I think it's not the sweetest of bourbons, and I think I kind of associate bourbons with being a little bit sweet. Obviously, you can't say that because they massively vary. I think, I do like it. I do really like it. But... Sorry, I've got fireworks going off and I've got a bloody window open. Couldn't have timed that better. I think for me, my favourite bourbon go-to, another one that will always be in my cupboard most of the time. I know I haven't got it because of now, but I did originally go to buy that today before I got the Mitch's, is the Woodford Reserve Double Oak. So what are we at? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the fifth drink I've added, and again, you're going to see a bit of a pattern coming in here, is the Glenmorangie Sherry Cask. That's another very nice drink. That's a really nice drink. It's odd because it's strong and it's sweet. You get that fortified taste from it. It's not like the rum cask. I think it's a far deeper drink. I don't want to go as far as I prefer it to the Balvenie, but it's different. And it's one of those, when you're in the mood for it, I always have to have a sherry cask in my cupboard because just when you fancy it, you fancy it. So the Balvenie Sherry Cask is the 5th drink in there. And again, what that has added is the slightly stronger whiskey. So you've maybe got a bit of bitter in there. I find it has got a bit of a bitter taste, but you've got that strong, fruity, fortified taste coming in from the sherry cask. And basically the same as the Caribbean cask that spends a time in rum casks. The Glenmorangie does the same, but with sherry. This is the thing with whiskey, Paddy, isn't it? You know, you get used to what you know. I watch a lot of whiskey drinkers on YouTube for that reason. They remind me of things. Yeah, and it was the Santa, yeah. They do remind me of things because whiskey, I love whiskey. I know you love whiskey, but it's such a deep rabbit hole. You're not going to try everything. It's not possible. It isn't possible to try anything. So you do rely on people pointing you in the right direction. You helped me out with Oban Little Bay in the past, and you know, with the Waterfords, we had a lot of chat about as well, because that's the thing with whiskey. I said this in my Instagram live, is that if you don't try things, if you just stick with the same old, you don't actually know what you're missing out with. And that's why I like to not have too many regulars in my cupboard. I like to finish it and try something else, because you just don't know. So, the next drink is this time a straight up rum. Nothing too expensive, nothing too fancy. I just found that I'd added a bit of sweetness in there, but you were getting almost a bitter taste again from the whiskey, because it was whiskey heavy. I felt this was a moment where I felt I have to dial it down a little bit. There was a lot of tastes going on, but it wasn't necessarily enjoyable. The flavours in the mouth were enjoyable, but the burn in the mouth and everything else, not so much. So I added a straight up rum, just one of my basic ones, because again, it was at that stage where I didn't want to put something nice in, because this could have been a make it or break it moment. Dom Papa. It's not, I say it's cheap, it's not the cheapest. For me, it's a mixer. It's okay straight, but if you want to drink rum straight, there's some far nicer ones you can have. It's a sweet rum, not spiced. I'm not a fan of spiced rum, really. But Dom Papa's more the affordable range. It's the sort of drink, again, that's one I'd often have, like the JD. If I fancy a rum and ginger or a rum and orange, I'm going to put Dom Papa in. I'm not going to be putting in Zacapa 23 or Zacapa XO, because you don't mix that shit. You don't spend that money on something and mix it, but Dom Papa, yeah, it's a good one to mix. So I added that. It worked quite well. It toned it all down. It gave a bit of balance, but at this point I wanted to go a bit deeper with flavours, and I wanted to bring a bit more warmth in. So I added a sherry. It's a nice little bottle that I've had a couple of for a while. I don't tend to drink much sherry. It's like a Christmas thing for me. My mum was a sherry drinker, so sometimes it's nice. I don't tend to go at Christmas without a sherry. I also don't tend to have many more after the one, if I'm honest. It's a drink I always think I like. I'm not too fussed about port. It's exactly the same. Every Christmas I'm like, God, just go and spend a whole day's wages on port, and then I have one glass and think, shit, I feel pissed. So it's called No. I think that's how you pronounce it. No or Noe. It's spelled Noe. It's the Optimum Rare Sherry. It's not that rare. Don't get excited, guys. It didn't cost me hundreds of pounds. I got it from Majestic Wines. But it's a very nice sherry. But the reason I added this is it's the sweetest sherry I've ever tasted. It's like someone has got sherry, put some sugar in, put some syrup in, added a bit of honey, mixed it all up, put a tiny bit more sherry in, and then doubled the syrup and honey and everything else again. It's almost too sweet. But that, and I said I'd come to this, didn't I? And that sherry, just that small amount of sherry, is what's added the darkness. So you can see by that colour, it's made it that dark sort of red colour. That's made it really, really dark. That got in my head a little bit, because it then didn't look so much like a whiskey. The taste was there, but that had taken it a bit too sweet. So you can see with the Dom Papa and the sherry, I'd start and get into the stage where if I wasn't careful, I could have messed this up a little bit. nice red neck. And I take it, obviously, it hasn't, I know you were saying about your skin can be prone to allergies and things. I take it that it's not giving you any issues. I didn't think it would, because it's all natural, coming completely off subject, guys. But again, this is where I'm attentive. I watch what my customers say, unless you're someone that I've got wrong. But yeah, yeah, I hope that's worked out for you, mates. I know you've got the testers and obviously got some more. So fingers crossed that's good for you. We want people with healthy beards. That's why I bring natural ranges in. My skin is tough as old boots. I could literally put acid on my skin and it wouldn't affect it. But I know some have more delicate skin than others. So this is why I wanted to go with some really exciting scents that you can only get from fragrances. The amount of brand owners I know that at the start of this were like, oh no, we're all natural. Only use us, we're all natural. We don't use fragrances. Then they figure out that you can't be quite as exciting with the scents when you stick to essential oils. So this is why I done this from the start. Early on, I brought out some essential oil only scents to make it natural. And then for those of us that don't mind, it's like the vegan thing. You know, I know some people are affected by it. I've not personally met a bearded dude that, you know, wants their products to be all vegan. For the most part, it's safe anyway. It's just the beeswax in the balms that should be an issue. But yeah, something I wasn't too fussed about. So anyway, back to this. So the sherry has brought things down a little bit, and this was the most worried I was about getting this wrong. And by this point, it was about half full, and I was like, wow, there's a fair bit of money to throw away there, particularly because I wasn't letting my bottles get to the end. Luckily, I hadn't put anything in stupidly expensive, but I was at that point where I wanted to make it right opposed to start from scratch. So we need more whiskey that isn't quite so deep. We need to stop going heavy with the extra tastes and the extra spices and everything else. So we need to start bringing it back a little bit. We need to get to basics a little bit. We need to bring it back to being a whiskey, because that's predominantly what I wanted it to be, is a whiskey. So good old faithful one. Really enjoyable drink. Again, a bit like the Jamesons, it's just really easy on the palate. It's not too exciting. I personally don't get many notes from it, which is a bit frustrating because it's not the cheapest and they really push that you get notes from it. It's the Dalwhinnie Winter Gold. Very enjoyable drink. Now, the one thing I haven't done is to freeze it. A lot of people say freeze it so it almost goes like ice and slush. It will as a whiskey. It's a different type of whiskey. I've never tried that with it. I've drunk it neat a few times, and it is an enjoyable whiskey. It's not the sort of thing I'd keep in the cupboard every 5 minutes. I've had it bought for me as a gift twice, and it is an enjoyable gift, and it is a nice whiskey. I'm glad I tried it. So again, it's not insanely good. It is a quality whiskey to add in this. I'm not adding anything too cheap or basic, but it was just adding a bit more whiskey to it to bring the whole thing back a little bit, from stopping it from becoming sherry, rum, stuff like that. So Dalwhinnie Winter's Gold, that went in there. Again, you've got to remember as well with this, guys, is I did keep sipping the whiskey the whole way through to get ideas. Although it brought it back, I wanted to add equal measures, and so what I was doing was adding 2 shots of everything, 25 mils of each drink in there to keep it even. So the Dalwhinnie brought it back a little bit, but again, it still wasn't quite whiskey enough. So I wanted to add another whiskey. Didn't want to add more of the Dalwhinnie because that would have been adding more of that than anything else. So I wanted to go with another faithful that was just a whiskey, just a basic whiskey. Again, not too over the top with flavours. Does the job. Again, I wanted to keep with the quality because I'd already invested quality in there. This is going to be another crowd favourite. Again, it's something I don't buy all the time because they're super reliable, but I've had them so many times. I would personally spend the money on other things. But if someone was to buy something like this as a gift for me, which someone in here has, I'm never going to turn my nose up at it. No matter what the age is, it is just a real good drink. You know, I would say it's the novice's version of Macallan all day long. For the novice whiskey drinker, Glenfiddich. Glenfiddich is a fucking brilliant drink to get started on in your whiskey world. If you want to give this thing a try, when it comes to malts, give Glenfiddich a go. Fail safe, absolute fail safe. Again, good value for money. It's a good name, it's a good brand. Bottle looks cool as hell. It's very recognised. No one looks near their noses up at it. It's well worth a try. I went with the Glenfiddich 15. It's got a bit more about it than the 12 has. Again, it's a real easy on the palate drink, really enjoyable, real smooth to drink. You can't go wrong with any of the Glenfiddiches really. So Glenfiddich 15 went into the drink. Ardbeg 10, it's a very nice one. I've currently got, and there was no way I was going to add this into that, and I know Paddy's going to appreciate this one. My favourite Islay at this moment in time, which is what I've got, but it's coming to an end at the moment, is the Ardbeg Uigeadail. bit more expensive for the Ardbeg range. Is far more expensive than that, but for the sort of maybe lower to middle range ones, it's a bit more expensive. That 100% is going to get topped up though. I need to try more Islays. It's something I'm a bit newer to. But yeah, Ardbeg Ugadal is absolutely fucking fantastic. Well worth the money. Really enjoy it. Often at ours, because we host quite often, I'll get my Glencairns out, we'll have a bit of a drink. And I love watching people drink that, because as they drink it, you watch them and you can see what it does to their face. They don't like it at all instantly. It literally explodes in your mouth, and it's nicknamed Seagull's Armpit, Mermaid's Purse. It's very peaty, it's very sea salt, you know, which is what peat is predominantly anyway. It's often close to the water, the sea edge. But yeah, from a taste point of view, it's absolutely fucking brilliant. And I'll definitely get more of that. Again, I do need to try more on the peaty range. Slightly prepared, not quite the same, but yeah. So Ardbeg Ugadal. So yeah, I very much like Ardbeg, very good. But I didn't add that to my Infinity Cask, because that would have just turned it completely on its head. I think that would have fucked the whole thing up, to be honest, guys. Again, I'm sticking with the whiskies because I did go so heavy with the other stuff that it had taken the enjoyment away. So not too dissimilar to the Glenfiddich, slightly different, not quite as well known, but it is very well known, is Glenlivet 15. It's a drink I've not sampled with too much. I actually opened the bottle, so complete opposite of what an Infinity bottle is supposed to be. I opened my Glenlivet 15, which was another gift. You see a pattern here. Everyone thinks I do well for myself and have nice whiskies. I haven't bought any of them. But yeah, the Glenlivet 15, I opened that to put in here. Didn't even try that one. I said I tried most of these. I didn't try it. I sniffed it, gave it a go. And the reason I've done that is that's the drink I'm going to try over the Christmas period on my new ones. I might even try one tomorrow. There's some boxing on tomorrow. I'm in a whiskey mood. That's my last day of work tomorrow. So, well, last day of the shop. Obviously, I'll be keeping on top of online stuff and keeping on top of you guys and everything else. But yeah, that'll be my last day of the shop tomorrow. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a few whiskies, watching the boxing. Be interesting to see if Cammie's still watching, because she didn't know that. Surprise! So yeah, Glenlivet 15. I've got to be fair, I didn't taste that. I tasted it after I'd let it settle in here. Didn't found it made a massive difference. So I'm going to initially say that I'd imagine it's reasonably similar to the Glenfiddich. I don't know if you've tried both, Paddy, and if you've got something different to say on it all. But yeah, we'll see. Top review. Thank you, mate, for the nice beard comment. I certainly try. Like I say, it's a bit rough around the edges today. Bear in mind it's alive. I'm not even joking. I forgot to bloody comb it or brush it. Got all this set up. Everything went a bit last minute. The wife and kids are very polite, well, helpfully hiding away in the house somewhere. It all got a bit last minute, and then by the time this started, I was like, my beard's all over the place. So it's normally a bit more out there. I put a bit more air into it and stuff. But yeah, no, thank you, buddy. Listen, us bearded men will never get bored of beard compliments. So we're getting towards the end of this now. In fact, we are at the end of this now, because there's only one more drink. Now, this one I added just because I had to. It's a real big favourite drink of mine. I brought it right back. I thought, what's the worst that could happen? I just wanted to add it more than anything else. And like I've said from the start of this, I wanted that Christmassy drink. I'd found that I'd maybe took slightly too much taste away. It was almost perfect. And I felt this shouldn't tip it over the edge, but I want to add it. It's a Kappa 23. One of my favourite rums. Overall, my favourite rum is realistically the Kappa XO. I don't have that all the time because it is high price. You're looking sort of £100 plus for the XO, whereas the 23, it's a 23-year-old rum, and you can pick it up for the 55 to 65 mark. That's quite good. It's the sort of drink you'd only drink neat. The Kappa, from a rum point of view, is always in my cupboard. Once one's empty, another one's ordered. So, you know I said I don't tend to do this a lot, but certain drinks I do. I just know I enjoy them and keep with them. But again, it's a bit more affordable than the XO. I highly recommend trying the XO if you get a chance. Or maybe I don't, YouTube. But you get the gist. If you want to try a rum and you can afford it, the XO. If you're being a bit stricter with your purse strings, which most of us are nowadays, then the 23. Those of you that haven't watched the review I done on one of my older videos of the Johnny Walker Blue Label, you'll see in there, I mentioned that it's a nice drink. That's another one that I think I'd get again once it's gone. It will always last me a long time because it is an expensive drink. I think that there's better value for money. You know, if you can afford a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label, by all means get one. It's an experience. Christ, I found it's worth it for the amount of people that comment on it. It's everyone knows it. It gets a lot of attention. But at the same time, for the money that one Johnny Walker Blue Label gets, you could get yourself a very nice blended, a very nice Islay, a very nice bourbon and a very nice scotch for the same price. So if you're looking at being sensible, you know, then do it that way. Let me catch up with some more comments, guys. Yeah, Cammie's still there. Paul Davis been listening while driving home. Enjoying it. I thought you said annoying for a minute. Hope the drive doesn't take too long, Paul. Paul, are you driving home for Christmas or are you driving home to get ready to go to work for tomorrow to be the drive home from Christmas? Brownie, Kel going to kidnap you soon for shop. Mate, she can drive. You can listen in the car. No, she's a good one. You can drive and listen in the car. You drive Kel around. She's a good lass. You drive her about, mate. I've got your back, Kel. He does need more beard products, so he hasn't got much. So yeah, so that's the list, guys. So I don't know what you guys think of that. I don't know if you think that sounds like a cool mix. I don't know if you think it sounds like a terrible mix. I don't even know if you care, to be honest. Maybe you're just watching because I'm pure entertainment. But let me have a water. Now I've waffled on for fuck knows how long. Let me actually try some of this drink. So again, you can see I've got my nice Glencairn out here. You can see it is a very dark colour. I think you'll struggle to find many whiskies that colour, in all honesty. But like I say, it is the sherry that kind of brought that out. I don't know why so little sherry puts so much into the colour. But what we're going to do first is get some notes going on. Now again, if you're new to this, the whole point of a Glencairn is the shape of the glass. It's almost like the fumes build up a little bit in the bottom and then come through the funnel. So you're getting everything come together. What you want to do is always give the drink a bit of a swish. Sorry guys, my nose is going a little bit. Give it a bit of a swish. I've put a bit too much in to do that properly. Normally you'd put about a third of this in because you're just giving it a taste. But this is the only thing I'm really tasting tonight, so I'm going a bit deeper. You can see there's quality alcohol in there because there is literally no oily residue. When it comes to drinking whiskey, I personally find that going for a higher alcohol content is a good way to go. It's more pure, it's a purer drink. Something that not a lot of people do realise is spending money on alcohol in most cases isn't necessarily about snobbery or just showing that you've got the money. In some cases it is. The Johnny Walker Blue Label, Macallan's a classic for this. Macallan's fantastic, but it's very, you can get it almost as good for far cheaper prices. But yeah, go for a high content of alcohol, high proof, because you're getting more of a pure alcohol. And what you often get with that and the higher cost is less of a hangover. Because again, it's purer stuff going into your system. It doesn't cause you as many problems the following day. So yeah, spend a bit more and have a better experience. Now with the glass, coming back to that, you've got the shape of the glass, the design of the glasses. There's other glasses as well. Again, your man Jeremy size. You've got the whisky glasses, which are very, very similar. They're ever so slightly at the bottom. They're probably a bit more masculine. You can see with me, I've not got the biggest hands, but I've also not got small hands. But these look very dainty, very delicate. You know, when I'm trying to uphold my big bearded tattooed dude image, these aren't the best glasses in the world. As my daughters start bringing their boyfriends around for the first time, I certainly won't be walking around with one of these, because I think they're more likely to intimidate me. But yeah, they're a fantastic fit for purpose glass. I've got lots of these in the house because we do like to do this when people come round. Again, I know, Cammy, you're still watching. You don't enjoy whiskey, you don't drink whiskey, but I think you enjoy watching when we all do have one, everyone getting involved, talking about it. It's a very good touch to an evening as a bit of a nightcap. You know, everyone coming together and really doing what I'm doing, learning about the drink, really dissecting it the way you should. It's a fantastic thing to do. Now, what you want to do is get your nose right in these. Again, give it a bit of a swirl because you want to get that. You want to get the alcohol. You want to get the drink on the glass. as it starts to run down, get your nose deep in here and give it a long, slow but deep sniff, because you really want to get all those scents going on. Now see, from the nose, it's pure whiskey. I'm not getting any of the sherry or anything like that. It's pure whiskey, but it's but there is a hell of a lot going on. There's nothing floral in there. It's just like, it smells like a very deep malt. It's a hard one to even say what the notes are, because there is so much going on with this. Oh God, I'm actually really enjoying it. Just watch the live of me sniffing whiskey. I bet you're all glad you logged on for that. But yeah, do you know what? With the Johnny Walker, I really went through the notes on my nose, but there's just so much going on. I don't even know where to start with it. It smells very sweet. You can definitely get the whiskey in there, like I say, but it smells very sweet. It sounds like you just want to get in there and have a sip. Sounds like it's a sort of drink where you've just got that real nice pop. But I love whiskey bottles with a cork in it. That's the worst pop I've ever heard. Well done, makers. Bet none of these are going to work now. Yeah, it's a bit better. So I love that sound, but it's almost like you just popped the cork, you've had a sniff, and you're like, get me a glass, I'm going to try it. So like I say, sorry, I can't go too much into the sense of it because there is just so much going on. It's got literally a bit, like I say, it's not too floral, but it's I'd say it's quite fruity. You know, you're obviously getting the sort of orange, the raisin, the sweetness from the rums and the things like that. You're getting the red fruits in there, not necessarily grapes. It's almost plummy. And it almost smells like a fruit salad that's been sat to ferment for a little while, but in a good way, not gone stale, and then has had alcohol poured into it. So it's very fruity, is I think the most I can say on it. Now let's give it a sip. Now I don't know if you noticed or heard, I gave it a bit of a swirl around. When it comes to the palate, obviously your mouth and your tongue has different areas of taste. You want to cover it as much as you can. You've heard me mention this a few times over these videos, that virgin palate, that virgin taste. You won't get that again. Make the most of it. And that is honestly like literally an explosion of gun. So like the Ugadal is, but whereas the Ugadal is all bitterness, salty, seawater, that sort of scent. Yeah, it's definitely fruity, this one. I'm now getting a bit of apple on there, like browned apple, almost just before it's ready to become cider. I'm definitely getting the red fruits in there, and I don't think it's currants or berries. Like I say, it's plummy. It's very plummy. There's lots of orange in here. That's going to be the rum, in particular. Probably there's a kappa, and you're definitely getting the sherry, that warmth where it just keeps going down that you get from sherry. Definitely getting that in there. And from the finished article, on that first initial taste, the sherry's right. It was a nice addition to have in there. It's, yeah, like I say, I'd have rather it wasn't such a dark colour because it stopped it looking like a whiskey. That's just me being high maintenance and needy. But it's definitely been a good addition to it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not just saying because I made this, I really enjoy this. I think it's a very, very, very nice drink. I will be having guests over at Christmas that will be drinking whiskies, and we'll be trying this. It'll be interesting to get some of their feedbacks. It's a shame I haven't got an alcohol licence. I could look at doing away, or I could do a giveaway for someone to have a small bottle of one. Maybe I'll figure something out. Keep an eye out just in case. Maybe that's gone straight to my head already and it's making me say things I shouldn't say. But yeah, do you know what? This is really nice. And bearing in mind I've done this for a test and it was a purpose to this, I think I've got this really spot on. There were moments throughout this I thought I got it wrong. I will admit as well, like I say, I did sip it maybe a bit too early and it tasted too strong. It tasted like the alcohol was a bit too much and it needed watering down. Now it doesn't. It's very smooth. It's not the smoothest, it's not going to be as smooth as a first drink as your Glenfiddich's are or something like that. But yeah, no, it's really nice. I very much enjoyed it. It's definitely got the spices in there. It's definitely got the sweetness in there. It's definitely got the warmth in there. It is very Christmassy. I don't know if it's something I'll drink loads of. I don't think I'd sit there watching, like, again, the boxing. I don't think I'd watch the boxing tomorrow and have glass after glass after glass like I would with some whiskies where I'd just take the bottle in with me. But for a nightcap, for a sip and to dissect and talk about, I'm very looking forward to that. I don't want to waste this over Christmas. So I want to keep this because, again, we host. I want other people to try this and see what they think. But yeah, there you have it. You know, most of the conversation was talking about what I've put in here. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. Let me know what you think. I know the numbers have gone down. I appreciate that it's a Friday and it's Christmas and everything else. But who's still on? Let me know who's still on. I know some of you had to go to do different things and some will watch this later on. If any of you are still on. And also, please let me know as well, guys, if this is something you'd like to see more of. You know, I got asked on the Instagram about what beard manners will be doing next year. From the beard side of things, I think we'll pretty much stay where we are. I might look at adding a conditioner because there's a couple of customers that keep asking for it. I said on the Instagram that I was looking at doing, I needed to bring out the body butters. The beard butters. I meant the body butters. So that's something I'll be looking at doing next year. I want to be doing more content stuff. It's something I really enjoy. How's it going, my beard struggle? What did you think of this one, buddy? I know it's very non-beard, this one. I don't even know if you're really into your whiskies, mate. But yeah, I like stuff like this because I get to interact with people. And I'd like to do more of this going forward. I like to do more lives. I'm actually toying with potentially getting into doing podcasts as well. So I could maybe bring people onto the channel and talk to them. I'd always prefer it's with people within the industry. I think it'd be nice to see a brand owner do that. I think a lot of people do it, you know, for their reasons, and they're great. You know, Carl's one of the better ones to watch. You know, but yeah, something I'd like to do more. I've mentioned this in other videos when I've been a guest. Perhaps I've had to miss out on the beard community a little bit since becoming a brand owner, certainly with the growth of the business and how it's become. I don't ignore anyone on purpose. I am just really, really, really busy right now. You know, it's everything as well. It's other businesses getting in touch. It's the YouTubes, it's the podcasts, it's work, it's the shop, it's the getting the businesses run properly, doing all the background stuff, sharing my time with the family, the making stuff. You know, I've said this before, it's, you know, we're at that stage, and this isn't to boast, it's just so people know who I am, but I'm making stuff for hours every single day. There's nearly always knocks going on at the door of the shop for deliveries and stuff. And but I love this. It's good. Like I said this earlier on, I work best when I'm busy and I really enjoy where it's going. But it's just letting you guys know that I'm never ignoring people. And this is what I like with this. I can't get messages. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Nothing else is going on. You're getting my attention with this. That's why I think I want to do more of these and potentially bring other people in as well. Samuel Millen, how are you doing, buddy? The main people still on, don't drink whiskey. That's ironic, but thank you for the support is the main thing. So my beer struggle, you're a big name in the industry. A lot of people know who you are. Would you ever consider coming on and doing a live just to chat? I know I've never seen you do that sort of stuff, but is that something that would maybe interest you in the future? You know, coming on and just doing like a live thing, you do it from your own home. Cameras are set up, we're on the same screen, but almost talking to each other and interacting with people. Is that something that would interest you? I've toyed with getting my wife involved in them. I think she might be up for doing that maybe next year. Again, I've mentioned the guy a lot, Jeremy Size. He's recently doing his lives with his partner. It works well because she often keeps an eye on the stuff that's going on in the background, keeps an eye on the chats and things like that, because again, this is my first live, but I found that a little bit difficult, trying to get the steady flow of the video and interacting with everyone and keeping up with things at the same time. Just backtracking to see if there's anything I haven't really missed. But yeah, honestly, guys, I appreciate all the comments, the thumbs up, it all helps the video. With this, please do like, please do subscribe if you don't already, please share it. All that stuff really, really helps. Most importantly, feedback from you guys, from the people that know me, that have followed my journey, that we've become friends with, even though not all of us have met. Be brutal. If you've watched this and thought, nah, this isn't for me, I don't think these suit you, they don't work, please be honest and let me know. If it's something you'd like to see more of, but with different content, I just knew this would be a good one because I speak easily about whiskey. Having a drink would allow me to relax a little bit as well. You know, so I just knew this would be an easy way in. As you guys have seen, I haven't announced this all over the world as I do when I release a video. I like being thrown at the deep end, but as with the start of this, it took me 5 minutes to get the bloody thing started, and I knew there'd be something like that, so I didn't want the pressures of everyone watching and suddenly you're losing people. So I want the brutal, honest truth. But yeah, get more involved, mate. You know, you're obviously very big into the industry, like your media skills, your videos, your photos and things are fantastic. So again, guys, if you're looking in these chats, give my beard struggle a follow. He's a great guy. We've known each other for a while now through this. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate it, mate. And you know, the other thing you guys get with me, I think, is something I'm very conscious of, is being myself. I love watching YouTube. I have done for quite a while now. I watch more YouTube than I do TV. I listen to YouTube a lot in the car. I do tend to subscribe and unsubscribe quite quickly because I think what I have noticed is as people get bigger, maybe they become a bit more fake, a bit more about doing things to try and make money opposed to trying to interact and everything else. I would like to think I don't go down that path. It's always about the connection, doing what people want, getting things out the right way. And I enjoy these videos. I actually really, really do. You can quite clearly tell, guys, I've been here for an hour nattering away and I've never really had any silent bits. I don't script any of my stuff. A lot of them do. I just don't find that I need to because I can talk for England. But yeah, no, hopefully that's what people get, is I just want to be genuine, honest. I always want to give fair advice on things. I do want to do more reviews. I've been reached out a couple of times to do reviews for brands that I've not necessarily liked. I'm not going to mention them, but there's one in particular. There was one lately that offered me money to do a good review. And, you know, I just said, no, I won't, because I don't want to get paid to review something that I don't like. Someone that follows me then goes out and buys it and doesn't like it. So, you know, I've got a bit of a policy. Send me the product, I'll give it a go, I'll let you know my thoughts, then the rest is up to you. The Brio product, I won't deny, I got paid for that review, but I really enjoyed that product. And you saw me again, that's another one to watch. If you want to, if you ever doubt my honesty, I do say on there, if you can afford the money of a Brio, they're brilliant. That's my most used razor, my shaver, sorry, even over the ones I sell. The ones I sell, which they're out of stock right now, but the ones I sell, $14.99, they're a huge value for money. You will not get better than that for $14.99. But the Brio is a whole different ball game. It's a different entity. It's 180 quid, but it's a fantastic bit of kit. If you watch the video, see what you think. There's links in there, so you can go straight through if you want to purchase it. You've got the beard clippers, the beard trimmers, and you've got the head shaver. Yeah, I use them all the time. It's a luxury. I'm lucky. I'm very blessed and lucky that I was given those by Brio. But yeah, if you're watching this Brio, I know some of you have bought the Brio stuff and have really thought highly of it. If you can afford it, get it. It's really good. Game changer. It's so smooth on the head. So easy to clip apart. It's digital. You can change the RPM of them to make it faster or slower. It's such a close shave. And I've never had to charge it up. I mean, admittedly, I don't do much trimming of my beard. You can see that. I obviously do the certain bits around the neck and my cheeks. I do my hair with the Brio as well. Shave my hair down with that. So yeah, that's a fantastic bit of kit. Mick Bear, how you doing, mate? $10 actually, Cammy, what was that about? Sorry, remind me. What's the 10 about? For those of you that don't know, Cammie's my wife. You wouldn't think so because she kept her maiden name. Don't know what the fuck that's about. No, I'm only joking. I don't think she actually subscribes to YouTube or anything like that, and in fairness to her, because my phone is very much a work tool, Cammie's is basically just something that the kids get hold of and throw on the floor every 5 minutes. Mick Bear's done a bad thing and he'll be back soon. I mean, let's talk about a cliffhanger, Mick. I feel like I need to play the EastEnders music. 7 people on at the moment. But yeah, like I say, guys, let me know. I won't keep this one going on much longer because the chat's gone a bit quiet. I can take a hint. But yeah, I've enjoyed this. So hopefully others have, and hopefully this is something we can do more of. Again, I ask this all the time, but I can't do this unless people help. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. It would be nice to know what content people want to see. Do you want to see more whiskey stuff? I said I was 5 minutes, so yeah, it was 10 minutes late actually. The one thing I will say is the most popular thing I get come back to me right now is cigar content. Yeah, I'm not going to really be doing much cigar content. I'll probably do some with me smoking cigars in the background, but you know, YouTube are very funny about cigar stuff, and rightfully so. I'm not just saying this because they're watching. It is a dirty habit at the end of the day, and there is health concerns there. I'm not telling you whether you should or you shouldn't. But yeah, I kind of actually have to be honest, I do agree with that, because I think when you have people that follow you, it's easy to make something like that look cool, and maybe someone that wasn't doing it might do, you know what I mean? So I don't really want to encourage that. But yeah, there's no point in asking me about the cigar stuff, guys, because it's something I'm never, unfortunately, going to be able to get too much into. I might potentially do a second channel at one stage that completely demonetised and do the odd thing. But yeah, it's like when people ask me if I'm ever going to sell cigars. I did toy with it a little bit, but I only very slightly toyed with it. And you know what? I appreciate that people come to me asking about cigars. I could talk about cigars. That's a deeper rabbit hole for me than whiskey is. But they're an absolute love of mine, and I want them to stay that way. I don't want that to become work or to seem like hard work or anything else. So I'll probably keep that to myself a bit more, just because it's one of my favourite hobbies. You prefer it? What are you listening to, Cammie? I sound like one of the TVs upstairs is really loud. So if you guys can hear murmuring in the background, it's one of the kids or Cammie. If it's Cammie, it'll be something in reality. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for me with this one. I'm waffling now, so it's been great. Hope you all enjoyed it. Like I say, do please give some feedback, like, share, do whatever you can to help. I want to do more of these. I want to hear what you want to see me do. Hope you've enjoyed it. But try an infinity cask for yourself. It doesn't have to be whiskey. It can be rum, it can be wine, it can be soda, it can be whatever you want. Give it a go. I'm glad I have. It's a learning curve for me. Same as the video. Sorry for the delay. Next live will be a bit better organised. Hopefully, I promise. At least I know how to do one now anyway. But guys, that's it from me. You can watch while I figure out how to turn this thing off, because I'm sure I'm going to struggle with that. Don't laugh too much. Whatever you do this year, guys, I'm going to do a message, so I know where I'm going, but I've just reminded myself. As always, I do this every year. Beard Manners is approaching 3 years old. It's not there yet. We're still 5-6 months away. But as always, thank you for all that you do, all of you. Whether it's watch a video, you don't all have to purchase stuff. You know, that's not what support is. Liking, supporting, following, sharing, interacting. You know, there's people in the private group on Facebook, the Beard Manners, the Manners Lounge. There's people in there that don't even buy Beard Manners. That's not what I'm about. It's not what it's about. It's about a way of life. It's about a certain type of people. And the support over this, you know, it's the happiest I've been with work. It's the happiest I've been in my working life. Nothing really stresses me out. You guys are always such a pleasure. When I get things wrong, when I send orders out wrong, everyone's so polite and courteous, and I'm always quick on it as well. There's no negativity in this. You know, and this is mainly thanks to you. I feel very blessed with the people I've met. I feel very blessed to be part of this community. If you're not bearded, you know, and you follow, it's the same thing. It means so much to me, my family, and everyone else. So whatever you're doing, please, please try your hardest to enjoy your Christmas. Have a good one. You know, I'm always here for anyone if I can be. Reach out, stay in touch, keep doing what you're doing. Really do appreciate you all. Love you guys for everything. That's me done. I'm going to enjoy my whiskey. I'm going to let you guys go home. But yeah, cheers for that, guys. I'm going to try and figure this out. All the best. Take it easy. I'll see you at the next video, and I'll definitely see you in the new year.